Oh boy, where do we begin? I was gonna go out there and do the entire "hey baby, I want to know if you'll be my girl" thing again, but if we're gonna have to listen to that 11 times, I kinda get sick of it, to be honest, even though it does signify the greatest thing that a Canadian can watch on their television screens, which is a Team Canada goal at the World Juniors. We had ourselves a blowout yesterday for Canada versus Austria, in a game where if you bet $200 on the Canadians to win, you would have received $1 if they actually did. Because it was so obvious what the result of this game was going to be, but even though we knew the results of what was going to happen in this game, it did not make it any less exciting seeing who went out there, who scored some goals, who put up numbers, and one of the guys went out there and he absolutely set some records. Connor Bedard, everybody. You know him, you love him. We have been talking about this guy for the past few years, and he gives us another reason to talk about him here today. The projected first overall pick at the 2023 NHL Entry Draft, who is only 16 years old, yet is still a part of this World Junior squad, which features the likes of guys who were drafted in 2020, guys who are 18 and 19 years old. Hey, Connor Bedard is out here as a 16-year-old, and he is producing the lights out. And it came in this game against Team Austria, where Team Canada ends up winning with a final score of 11-2. Now, before we go over the 11 and talk about some of the goals that the Canadians ended up scoring, let's just say this right here. When Team Austria went out there and scored themselves their goals, you could see just the elation on their faces when they were celebrating with their club. You could see how happy it was that they scored goals in this game. You could see just how much it meant to them. And at the end of the day, you know Team Austria is going into this game saying, yeah, we're probably going to lose, right? We're playing Cole Perfetti and Connor Bedard and Shane Wright, and we have all these really, really talented guys that we're facing up against. We're probably going to lose, but even though that is the case, they still went out there and put themselves on a show. They tried, and they scored some goals, and they looked super happy after doing it, like all their hard work was finally paying off. So for that, it's really great to see the sportsmanship out of Team Austria, but let's go over onto the team that dominated them here in this game, Team Canada. Now, for Connor Bedard, the guy we're talking about over here, he had himself 4 goals, which is, oh my goodness, it's absolutely spectacular what this guy has gone out there and done. Considering the fact that a few games ago, he was used as a 13th forward on this team, quickly working himself up to a top 6 role on the squad, and reaping the benefits so incredibly in last night's game against Austria. It was 3-0 at this point, after goals from Kent Johnson, Lucas Cormier, and Logan Stankoven. But on the power play, guess what? It's Connor Bedard still in the bumper spot. We had noted in the previous video that Bedard isn't really used to playing that spot when he plays in Regina, but he had been placed there in Team Canada, and it's Jake Neighbours who, down low behind the goal line, sends a centering feed over to Bedard. He takes a one-time whack at it. It doesn't go through. It bounces off to the side. Bedard, on a second attempt, is able to get things to go. He gets himself his first goal of the tournament in his second game played, and it's a really good one to put the Canadians up 4-0. They have 4 goals as Team Austria has 4 shots at this point in the game. And by the end of this first period, you had yourselves what was the next Connor Bedard goal come just a little bit after. Bedard steals the puck in the neutral zone and he leads the rush in himself. It's a 2-on-1. He throws it across to Will Coley, the New York Rangers prospect drafted a while ago, and he sends one right back across to Bedard, who just bats it into the open cage. His second goal in the span of, oh my goodness, how many minutes was that? Like, less than a minute? So Connor Bedard has 2 goals at the end of the first period, coming in the span of about 50-something seconds. You have yourselves what is the second period that gets out underway, and Connor Bedard is not done. Oh boy, not by a long shot. He has the puck in the offensive zone and he dekes into the middle, does a nice little backhand quick cut to get by the forecheck of the defender. He has some space in the middle, comes right in, he shoots it, he scores it. A complete individual talent goal right here. You can see Bedard after he scores. He just goes to the boards and he just kind of fist bumps the guys. He doesn't even really have any facial expressions. He's just like, yeah, I did that. I feel kind of bad that I did that because now it's 7-0 or whatever it is, 6-0 now. And Bedard getting himself his natural hat trick in the span of what was less than 10 minutes of game time. kind of sets the tone for the rest of the game here for Team Canada. Because, yes, Austria got themselves a goal at the end of the second period. Very nice for them. You could see the elation on their faces. But then, in the third period, Cole Perfetti, Connor Bedard, Mason McTavish twice, Maverick Bourque as well. You had yourselves 5 more Canadian goals. And then Matthias Baum scoring for Team Austria, making it what is ultimately 11-2 at the end of the game. But Connor Bedard's 4th goal here, 2 minutes into the third period, was also a pretty notable one as well. This one was a really nice rush by Will Coyle again. He goes around the net, protects the puck properly, forces himself onto the half boards where he throws one towards the goal. Right in front is Connor Bedard. He is planted, he has his stick set, and he tips it up and over into the net. It's his 4th goal on the night, and it ties the Canadian single-game record for goals in a game. Now, we already know what happens at the end, 11-2, Connor Bedard, 4 goals, whatever. But let's just go over how crazy this was and some of the history behind what Connor Bedard did against Team Austria. Connor McDavid had 4 points as a 16-year-old at the World Junior Championship. Connor Bedard has 4 goals tonight. That indeed is the case. If you take a look at Bedard, 2 games played at the World Juniors, 4 goals, 1 assist for 5 total points. If you go over to Connor McDavid and take a look at his 16-year-old year at the World Juniors, you could see that he did indeed have a total of 4 points in 7 games played, a goal and 3 assists. Now, yes, McDavid was lighting the OHL on fire, and he was only 16 years old, so it doesn't really matter that he wasn't really producing all too much, but still. 4 points in 7 games. Bedard gets 4 goals in 1 game. Cough, cough, no big deal whatsoever. You then had yourself some more right here. Hat tricks by Canadian 16-year-olds at the World Juniors. Wayne Gretzky, December 23rd, 1977. Wayne Gretzky, December 25th, 1977, so 2 days apart. And then Connor Bedard, December 28th, 2021. Now, yeah, Wayne Gretzky was phenomenal. We all kind of know how good that guy was. And he went out there in his World Junior performances and produced pretty well too. 17 points in 6 games played, 8 goals, 9 assists when he made his World Junior debut at 16 years old. So, yeah, it's a really tall task if you want to go out there and say that Bedard is going to even have some form of a chance at catching Gretzky. If we do the math right here, I mean, Bedard, 5 points in 2 games played. If you multiply that out by 6, he's on pace for 15 points, and Gretzky had 17, so that's not too bad of a projection right there. And then you also have yourselves the score sheet for what Connor Bedard did in this 4-goal game. 4 goals, 12 shots on goal, a +3, and he played 14 minutes and 33 seconds. That's a shot on goal for every 73 seconds Connor Bedard was out there on the ice. And heck, it's not even just the shots. There were a few clips going around of Connor Bedard and the dangles that he was doing, the plays that he was trying to set up. There was one that made it onto Pavel Barber's Instagram account where Bedard dangles the Austrian defenseman and just pinpoint accurately finds the guy on the other side for a cross crease. The guy missed, but still, seeing Bedard go out there with the all-around offensive capabilities he had, this is kind of the best of all worlds combined. He gets himself a brilliant snipe that is created by him. He gets himself a really nice tip-in goal. He gets himself some good rebound goals. He gets himself a really good play where he passes it out in front, and he's rewarded with a goal in the cross crease back to him. This was an all-round Connor Bedard showcase, and getting himself a shot every minute and a bit kind of encapsulates that entire feeling. So, talk to me in the comments, what do you think about Connor Bedard and the way he performed against the Austrians? Obviously, it is just the Austrians, so it was probably more likely he would have done this against that team than he would have against Team USA, for example. But let me know in the comments regardless, what do you think about Bedard and the way that he's played so far at the World Juniors? I'm expecting him to go out there and give Wayne Gretzky a run for his money. Maybe not overtake Gretzky, maybe not tie him even, but just kind of give a conversation and say, hey, when it comes to 16-year-old Canadians at the World Juniors, I can kind of do this too. He's got 5 points in 2 games played. He's got 4 more games to get 12 more points if you want to go out there and say he's going to match Gretzky. I don't really know if that's possible, but a man can dream. Talk to me in the comments, though, what your thoughts are about Connor Bedard and his entire showcase here at the World Juniors. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.